Standing on the bike off-road, not always necessary. Let's talk about standing up on your bike while you're off-road. One of the most often misused reasons that I hear people say is, well, it lowers the center of gravity. And that's actually just not true. The center of gravity of the bike is still the center of the gravity of the bike, whether you're standing up on the pegs or not. Your weight is more focused on the pegs when you're standing up, but it doesn't actually lower the center of gravity. What it does do is it disconnects you from the bike, and it makes your body, your legs and your arms part of the suspension when you're going over rougher ground. I'm doing this in kind of a shady area up 46 going towards Detroit. It's also very cold. That's why I'm still wearing everything. It's like 38 degrees. If you're sitting down on the bike while you're off-road and you come across a really harsh, like let's say it's a really rocky section and you're sitting down, the suspension is going to feed back through the bike directly into your butt and your body, and it's going to cause you to get off balance. You don't have as much control over the bike. When you're standing up, one, you have more line of sight because you're able to get up from behind your windscreen and you're able to look farther forward, which you should always be doing all the time, not just off-road. Two, it allows you to transfer your body weight left, right, front, back, depending on where the bumps and everything are at that you're going over this rough ground. You do not need to stand up 100% of the time. There's no reason for it. Even sometimes when you're going over, a little bit rougher section, you don't need to stand up as long as you can remain in control of your machine. Why do we stand up? We stand up to get our body to become part of the suspension. Sort of, kind of, not really, but sort of, kind of, giving yourself more travel versus your torso. It takes a lot more energy to stand up and ride when you're off-road. Also, as an aside really quick, standing while you're riding on the pavement is not stunting. The law is very, very misguided in that. Motorcycle riders stand up to give their legs a break, not because they're stunt riders. It is not stunting. It is standing. Back to the video. Sitting down on your bike while you're off-road is perfectly acceptable. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you're going through rough sections, stand up to get through the rough section, then sit your butt back down on the bike. What are you doing when you do that? You're conserving energy. If you are standing on the bike when you're off the pavement 100% of the time, you're simply going to run out of energy before you ever get to your destination. When I was growing up, being taught how to ride motorcycles, we were learning off-road on trail bikes, single track and whatnot. And my brother and I, we had it ingrained in our heads that you got to stand your butt up off that seat, to the point of, if we weren't doing that, the seats would be removed from our motorcycles. And you learn very fast, oh, I better stand up. And that just carried forward through the years. As I've watched videos and gotten older and gotten more experience with riding, it simply is not true that you got to stand up on the bike 100% of the time that you're off-road. What you are doing is you are increasing the amount of suspension that you now have to use. Let me give you an example. If you're coming up to a pretty good sized pothole, if you're sitting down, the whole bike's going to come down into this pothole and pop back out. Your butt is going to be on that seat and you're going to go down with it, and that's going to be incredibly hard to control the motorcycle unless you're duck waddling along with it and you're just idling through the thing. If you're blasting down a fire road and you see like a water bar or said pothole last minute, stand your butt up off that seat, get into an attack position so your knees are bent, so that way when the bike goes down into the obstacle, you can push down a little bit, allowing the bike to travel away from your body a little bit, and when you get to the other side of the obstacle, when it's going to pop back up, you just suck it back up, and then you get back into your riding position and you keep going, or you sit back down. Myth number one, you have to stand up on your bike 100% of the time that you're off-road. That is not true. Sit down and save some energy and save the standing for the really rough parts. If you're just going on dirt and gravel fire roads, fire access roads, national forest roads, whatnot, there is zero reason to stand up on your bike. Myth number two, standing up on the pegs while off-road lowers the center of gravity. That is mostly not true. What it does do is it greatly increases your ability to leverage your body weight to improve stability, handling, and balance on rough ground. On longer trips, and you can check out my videos for proof of this, I might be, when we're off-road and even over rough ground in some instances, I might be standing over the course of the trip. I maybe stand while I'm off-road 25% of the time or less, because I'm trying to conserve energy to get through the day. Because there's some instances where if you're on a multi-day trip, if you're staying in a different spot every night, you could be riding 8 to 12 hours a day. So you need every ounce of energy so you can keep your head clear while you're riding. The point of going on longer trips like that is not to look cool while you're off-road or look cool standing up while you're off-road. The point is to get to the destination and complete the mission. Watch almost any one of my videos and you'll see that to be the case. There are many people out there that can articulate this topic better than I, and some very knowledgeable people that are very good at teaching. Brett Tax would be a very good example of that. You can take this information as an opinion, because this is my opinion, but I need to quit tapping my microphone here. You can take this information as opinion because it is my opinion. It is, however, backed up by... This has been an Explorer Adventure Moto production. Stay hairy.